Oh, hello and welcome to What Are We Talking About with Jamie Jakes. I am him, and we're doing a mock draft.
Woo.
And I am here with P. Bailey _ comedy, Paxton Bailey, joining me for another one here on the casting couch in Dallas, Texas.
What's going on? Happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you. You know what? We also have a special guest today, so let's bring him in. We are very happy to have Matt Tackle Zone McElhone. What's going
up?
on, buddy? How are you doing?
I'm excited to be here, dude. This is fun. I was telling you that last year was my first ever draft, so I want to see a pro do it. I want to see your thinking, so that when I go to draft this year, I've got a little better handle on it than so I don't get a tight end first draft pick.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend against that this year. If you've been listening to the podcast, we are not big premium tight end people, especially not in the first round.
Did you do that?
What?
Yeah, I went Travis Kelce. That was my. I was the first person in my league to go because we did a random order. I went first and I picked Travis Kelce, and literally the chat just flooded with like, "What?" It's like, "Oh, dude, I don't know what I'm doing."
Oh, sweet baby Matt, no.
He did all right towards the end of the season, but at the end, at the beginning of the season, I could not. I did okay.
Drafting 1 of 1 is already tough, but drafting Travis Kelce first at his ultimate ceiling.
Yeah.
Right.
So we are waiting on one last person to join our league right here. This is a best ball draft. Best ball meaning you set it and you forget it. You draft an 18-round team against 11 other real life people. It's just like a mock draft, except it's real life because everybody has $3 at stake. So there is a lot to be talked about here. It's a highly efficient average draft position, ADP, and you're drafting against some of the best drafters in the world. We tend to turn a profit every single year. So here we are doing it again.
How many times do you enter?
I'm getting close to like 600.
Load for the wife. I see you. And you said each of them.
Because I'm alone, I'm about the same.
Yeah.
I can say it at a normal volume.
Nice. That's a normal volume for Paxton for those of you listening at home. And we are looking like we're full, which means we are 60 seconds away from getting started. So the rosters are 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, tight end, and a flex. So the wide receiver position will be bumped up a little bit more than you might see in your home leagues with 2 wide receiver teams. But it's still beneficial to learn this way because it is kind of like, I think, the best way to be drafted anyway. I think you should be prioritizing those wide receivers, even in 2 wide receiver teams. We are sitting from 8 from this one. I don't mind it at all.
Tyreek went first.
Tyreek Hill went. I've seen that happen.
Really?
It's not crazy, I don't think.
I think that's weird. When CMC is sitting right there and it's not a dynasty draft, I'd go CMC all day.
I agree. Oh wow, and Bijan goes 3. We've got some.
Whoa.
We've got some free thinkers in this draft. Bijan going 3rd overall. We are a big anti-Bijan podcast, I guess. We really like Breece Hall. Would you agree, Paxton Bailey?
It's not that I'm anti-Bijan. I'm anti-Bijan's price. I don't want him this high.
Exactly. Like taking him 4th, 5th, 6th overall when like Breece Hall and CeeDee Lamb just fell to 4 there.
If Bijan fell to me at 12, I'd be ecstatic.
Yeah. I think a lot of these people taking Justin Jefferson as the 4th wide receiver off the board is just a little bit head scratching for me. I guess there is news. JJ McCarthy is be out for a period of time, at least with a meniscus injury. We don't exactly know how that's going to end up over there. But doesn't sound good for the rookie. Sam Darnold looked fine though. I mean, like if Sam Darnold's an average quarterback in the NFL this year, which he might be in this system, it's a good system for a quarterback to be in. Obviously, we saw so many of them succeed in it last year.
Ooh.
Why wouldn't Justin Jefferson, be elite? Now here's a I've got Jamar Chase here at 8.
No.
At 8, which I have to be consistent. I'm like, that's where Jamar Chase should be going, is 8th overall.
Do you want him over someone
AJ
like
Brown
Garrett
or Garrett Wilson?
AJ Brown, but Garrett Wilson?
I'm taking Jamar Chase.
Okay.
I'm taking Jamar Chase. This is probably one of the very first times I've taken him on purpose this season drafting, but I think that's an appropriate spot to take him. If he does fall all the way to 8, you got to be consistent. He's a first round draft pick for a reason, and I think I'll take a dice roll on him, even though I love Garrett Wilson too, and I've started to take Garrett Wilson ahead of AJ Brown recently.
I think it's a good call because I think Burrow's also going to come into his own. Not that he hasn't already a little bit, but that contract was crazy, him being the highest paid, but it doesn't seem totally crazy because he does seem like he's got a lot of potential. This might be his year where he really figures it out.
There's just something about the quarterback pay curse. Like right after they get a huge contract, they just want to suck butt for a year. And then after they come back.
Right. Remember the frostbite, the Madden, if you got on the cover of Madden, you were going to get injured.
The Madden curse.
Yeah.
I don't buy in on that at all. That theory. Joe Burrow going QB 8 at the moment at 89th overall. So you can wait 6th, 7th round and stack Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow. That's pretty cheap, especially if he can just be healthy for a whole season.
Right.
You'll crush it. I mean, we've seen that, not pan out, him being healthy for a whole season in the past, but I'm probably be getting Joe Burrow, and I'll probably reach on him a little bit just to get him stacked up here with Jamar Chase, because if it does work out, then I'm winning this league, right? Which is what it's all about.
There you go.
So I've got Drake London, Nico Collins, Saquon Barkley, Chris Olave, Jalen Waddle. I love Jalen Waddle, but I would like to get a premium running back on my team. So I'm going to go ahead and take Saquon Barkley over there in Philadelphia. I think it's going to be a rather run-heavy offense, especially with Johnny Wilson, wide receiver, 6th-round pick out of Florida State, blocking so well in the preseason.
Yeah, and you know what? If you were a pick later, I like Drake London. I know you don't like Drake London as much, but I'm a believer in Kirko, and I think he just needs that quarterback to throw to him. And Drake London looks good, but if he fell a little farther, that would make sense to me too.
So here's my problem with Drake London. 117 targets for 866 yards, 4 touchdowns, 109 targets for 905 yards, 2 touchdowns. And we've seen guys that are going right before him, like Garrett Wilson. I'm not a big Chris Olave fan, but he's got 2,000-yard seasons as well with 5 touchdowns and 4 touchdowns. That's not great, but he's had, pretty arguably shit quarterback play as well.
Yeah, the thing is, his best quarterback has been Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, for how early he's going, you're taking him early 2nd round most of the time. Talking about Drake London for a guy that's never had over 1,000 receiving yards in the NFL. I get quarterbacks can hold you back, but guys that are going right around him, like Chris Olave, like Garrett Wilson, have succeeded with much, much worse. And then we've had even guys like Mike Evans, who's gotten 15,000 yard receiving seasons in a row.
The only reason Johnny Manziel was any good.
I don't know why you would be looking at Drake London if it pans out with an old Kirk Cousins over Mike Evans.
Back to your Saquon Barkley pick. I wonder if you are you worried at all about who replaces Jason Kelce on the line? I don't know who it is. Is it someone I don't know how good their offensive line is gonna be.
I thought you were saying, were you worried that Saquon was going to replace Jason Kelce at center?
No, I was worried that the new center was not going to be good enough to block to make a running back successful.
I am somewhat concerned, but if he sucks, that means less tush pushes. So it's that immediately just reverses it right there.
And Lane Johnson's still there. He's still a stud.
Yeah, and this isn't like a rookie. This is a guy they brought in 3 years ago to groom into the replacement of Hall of Famer Jason Kelce.
I didn't even know they had the replacement already. I thought
they've had him there in building in that organization for years, working with the guys.
Well, that means he wasn't getting starting reps. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's almost better to take someone who's getting starting reps somewhere else than someone who sat on the bench for 3 years and sure, they learned the system, but they didn't necessarily get those reps in,
But at the same time, this coaching staff has seen what he can do, right? I don't think they're going to make that. I'm sure they've seen in him a competent guy.
Wow.
I'm up next. I've got Brandon Ayuk, DJ Moore, Stephon Diggs, Michael Pittman. And honestly, a guy I'm probably overreacting to in preseason, but he balled out in preseason last year, then balled out in the regular season. I believe in his quarterback as well. I'm going to take DJ Moore, a guy I have not taken a ton because he does have a price tag of a wide receiver 22. But I just saw Caleb Williams and I saw him in college, and I'm like, this is the next Andrew Luck. And now I'm afraid to draft his wide receivers. And I'm done with it. I'm not going to be afraid to draft his wide receivers. I'm not afraid anymore.
I will say after this preseason, just a little bit of the first game we saw, I will take back a smidgen of my hate for Caleb Williams. I don't trust him yet. It's still preseason, but he did well.
It is preseason. I believe in him. Matt McElhone, what do you think?
I thought that the Hard Knocks that he did was a little shaky. Like that first episode, I was kind of like, oh.
You thought Caleb Williams was shaky?
Yes,
he
he
has a
seemed
purse.
unconfident. Which don't get me wrong, like if you're in your first year, you should be a little unconfident. But there's a lot of pressure that comes with being a first round draft pick, and I felt like a lot of the interviews and the focus that was on him in that first episode, I was like, I don't know, I'm not fully bought in, but we'll see. You know what I mean? I think it'll probably be year 2 or 3 before he gets comfortable.
I thought the coaching staff, and I'm not saying he's not going to have growing pains. Like at the end of the day, he's still going to be a rookie. Let's be real. But I saw a lot of poise out of him. I didn't like the staff there. I didn't like the head. I thought Eberflus came off as like
A dingus, dude.
like a doof, like a bad doof, like a
nerd.
Yeah, I didn't like
I'm not
what
following this guy into battle.
No way. Imagine like him versus Dan Campbell for 2 games this season on the other side of the sidelines. You're not alpha enough to be in the NFC North. So I've got 2 guys I love here. So I'm just gonna go with the highest ADP guy and Michael Pittman. Amari Cooper still also there, and I'm gonna have a really, really good shot at Anthony Richardson once it comes all the way back around to me. Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Anthony Richardson still left on the board. I've been trying not to get as many of these premium guys just because I don't have enough Kyler. And he's going like 2 rounds after Anthony Richardson, 1 round after Anthony Richardson. And I think he's going to have a great season too. But now that I have Michael Pittman, I'm taking AR.
Yeah. No, AR is awesome. Michael Pittman was great. I was surprised he fell this far. I'm also surprised that Amari Cooper's still on the board.
Yeah, Michael Pittman went 6 picks after ADP. I believe he's usually 35. And yeah, Amari Cooper now falling in the draft as well. I mean, what do you, especially if Ayuk's not over there, why would you be worried about that at all?
There's only 2 things. A, you don't think Deshaun has it. So I don't know either. So I'm not going to say anything on that. Or if you are dumb and you think Jerry Jeudy is going to take Amari Cooper's targets.
I get fading Deshaun until you think about the quarterbacks who threw to Amari Cooper when Deshaun went down.
Right.
It was just like a DTR played like 3 games. Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
However, Joe Flacco looked like a stud.
Yeah, and you know where he looked horrible at the year prior was New York.
Yeah.
He sucked. He was so bad. He was like Trey Lance in the preseason.
Yeah. Trey Lance or Stetson Bennett, take your pick.
Yeah, take your pick. Matt, what do you think about the Colts situation over there?
The Colts situation. Sorry, I was just looking at the Browns because we were talking about Amari Cooper, and I was drawing a total blank on who is going to be throwing to him this year, and that's when you guys started talking about Flacco and everything. But I still don't know the answer. Like, who's the starting quarterback? Are they good? Deshaun Watson? Okay.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson. We've been pumping him up. He's going to have his year 4 post-scandal breakout season, in our opinion. Didn't look great last year, but did have like a pretty bad shoulder injury. So I think this might be the year. They also have Jameis Winston backing him up over there. Just for emotional support alone, that's got to be at least +3 poise in the pocket when you have
Yeah,
that's what you get him for.
Honestly, put Jameis Winston to be even better. I mean, to be worried about his spot, is that what you're saying? That he's going to be running from the QB2? Like,
no. Jameis Winston ain't going to take over for him.
No, he's not worried about talent. He's just like, everyone likes him more than me.
No, I think that's a good thing. I think him not having to be a leader is a good thing. Jameis Winston can do the halftime speeches, and Deshaun can just worry about slinging it.
What's nice is whether they get good fantasy points or not. Like, the offense may not be all that great, but their defense is pretty stout, right? So all they got to do is score sometimes, and the Browns will do good even if you don't do great picking them in fantasy.
Guess who fell to me? Mr. Anthony Richardson. Patrick Mahomes actually also fell to me. I would have definitely had to take Patrick Mahomes over AR, but I've not seen Patrick Mahomes fall that far before. AR, we're big believers of him. We think he's going to ball out this year.
I mean, he put on 30 pounds of muscle. He looks like a linebacker now.
He looked like a linebacker last year, dude. He's incredible. I mean, he didn't look great in preseason, but who cares? Like, it's not.
I just love him.
Yeah, we don't really care. Passing up again on Keenan Allen there does hurt my soul a little bit, but we already have 3 quarterbacks. Wide receivers. We're looking pretty good. Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman.
And he's already so injury prone. He's just getting older too. I'm going to stop throwing that now that I see the cords moving. But he's just getting older. He's already so injury prone as it is. You've already got DJ Moore too. Keenan Allen. He's a risky pick that if he falls to me later than his ADP, maybe.
I think Keenan Allen plays at the end of the year if he knows he's already not out of town. I think he shut it down last year. He could have played if he really wanted to. I don't think he's really as injury prone as everyone might say he is. And predicting injuries like that, except for people like James Conner, who always gets injured, I think he's just as likely to play a full season as anybody that's going around him, Chris Godwin included. But guess who does fall to me here? Rising in draft boards for a reason. I've been drafting him since back when he was being drafted at like 120, back pre-draft. Xavier Worthy. Got a lot riding on him, but he's my number 1 drafted fantasy football player this season. Hollywood obviously goes down, opens up the door, kind of like.
Okay, I was going to ask.
Kind of like the door that got opened up from last year for Puka with the Cooper Kupp injury. Mahomes only threw 4 passes in preseason, so like who cares? He didn't get a reception, but he was open on all the routes that he ran. So Xavier Worthy ran a 4.21, broke a freshman Texas receiving record down there in Austin. I think people are overthinking that. I think he should be being drafted like 2 rounds earlier, like after Michael Pittman, basically after Keenan Allen.
I'm one of those people overthinking it. I don't know, man. He's a much better John Ross III, but right now all I see is just fast. And I know you're going to say John Ross didn't have 1,000 yards in college?
He never had an 800-yard receiving season.
This is a different
Xavier
game.
Worthy did it over 900 his freshman year. True freshman.
Right, but I think Rashee Rice is batting on all barrels, the better wide receiver than Xavier Worthy.
They're 2 different positions. They're both wide receivers, but they're 2 different positions.
I mean,
Rashee Rice average depth of target was like 4 yards. He's a run after the catch guy. Xavier Worthy is a stretch the field guy, and they don't have that position. There's no competition.
But by the end of the season, Patrick was hitting Rashee more. He wasn't targeting him in the beginning of the season.
Well, yeah, but Rashee Rice was a second round pick. Xavier Worthy, they traded up in the first round to get.
That could be a bad pick.
No, I'm saying he's going to get more opportunity off bat. He wasn't in preseason when Mahomes went with the starters last year. Grab that from him. In the preseason when Mahomes went with the starters last year, Rashee Rice was not on the field, and the team was talking about him like he was a developmental guy. The team is not talking about Xavier Worthy like he's a developmental guy. He was on the field with the starters week 1 of preseason. He's already earned the starting role. It's a totally different situation. And if Rashee Rice is his floor, I'm still winning at the draft price I'm getting him at. If Rashee Rice is his floor, I'm getting him in the 6th round. That's still a good value in my opinion. Paxton Bailey.
What is that? Your 4th wide receiver?
That's my 4th wide receiver.
Okay, never mind.
My only criticism, I know you said you don't put much faith at all in tight ends, but I would wonder why you wouldn't pick someone proven at the tight end position, since there's only a top 5 or so in the league that you can be like sure that you're going to get something out of rather than just going with someone who's unproven.
So I've already got a proven guy for you here who was number 4 in receptions last year. He was like number 8 in targets for all receivers, including wide receivers from the tight end position. Evan Ingram is the reason I'm not taking a lot of premium tight end guys. And people say like, oh, he's got more target competition this year. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Well, you're not worried he gets snatched before? I mean, like, you don't think you could have left Worthy on the board longer than Ingram?
No. Worthy's going way before Ingram.
Out, so, yeah.
Worthy's ADP is 65. Ingram is going 77 at the moment. So,
will you do me a favor and also look up one more tight end's ADP? Hockenson.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll look at him in 1 second. The other thing to finish that thought, Matt, is Jake Ferguson also available at 84. David Njoku available at 99.
Sure, you got backups that'll.
All of those guys,
job.
I think, have top 5 tight end ceilings this year.
Oh,
and it's best ball. So I can also get 2 more tight ends, and whoever falls into the end zone that day.
Does
wins.
Best go off of the stats thus far that season? I don't know.
No,
exactly
it's week by week.
Okay.
It's week by week. The computer automatically starts
after the games are already over. It takes the best that you had at that position on the previous week, essentially. Okay.
In hindsight, yeah, exactly. Good question. TJ Hawkinson currently going tight end 16 at 142. What'd you have to say about that, Paxton?
So with Sam Darnold being the starting tight end, risky quarterbacks throw to their tight ends a lot, and he's going to be trying to throw to Jettas a lot. But I feel like Jettas is going to get double covered more this season. He's going to find some openings to make some catches, but not as many. So Hawkinson is going to be right there, able to catch some balls, and he's got great breakaway. He's got a quarterback that can get him the ball fairly decently, and he's a good tight end going way late at 114.
Yeah, but his knee exploded in like December. He went over the middle against the Lions, and his knee exploded.
I forgot about the coffin ball. Damn it. Well, TJ Hawkinson has been drafted a lot in my teams.
Oh no! Oh no! He's on PUP still. We'll be keeping our eye on that. Just like we're keeping our eye on Zamir White. Didn't have much time to pick because I had to remind Paxton about an injury that he forgot about. But Zamir White, Saquon Barkley, I think they're both bell cows. I know they're both bell cows for both teams. Alexander Madison, the only running competition they have in Las Vegas. The only issue is that offense might not be great this year, especially with the interim head coach made head coach over there, former player. Usually doesn't work out that way. But Zamir White's going to get enough opportunity. I'm getting him in the 8th round, so I'm happy to have him as my number 2 running back selected. So one thing we did forget to do is reach on Joe Burrow. So whoops. Definitely should have grabbed him there instead of Zamir White as my second running back. But that's okay.
Dak might fall.
Well, I mean, Joe Burrow's only got 5 picks to make it, and all but one of them have a quarterback already.
With all the uncertainty, I wouldn't, even if Dak did fall, I don't know. I'm scared. I know he does fantastic in the regular season, and the Cowboys are always ahead, but I'm scared of how much uncertainty there is in the team right now.
Are you really concerned about CeeDee Lamb not being on the roster?
I'm concerned about how much the implication, like just the uncertainty, the chemistry, the fact, like, are we or aren't we going to play you? Oh, is everyone like so certain that you're the most important person that, like, I don't know. I think that this is a dark area to be in with 4 contracts up in the air, you know?
I think the reason the time to concern is next year for the Cowboys. I think this is their kind of win now year, their last hurrah. And I expect that Dak and they do have Zeke back. It seems like that they might want to start Zeke, which is laughable. But
that is especially because he can get nowhere near as good as Dowdle. Like,
that's what everyone says, right? But everything that they're indicating is that through the first week of preseason is that he's going to be the starter there, which is just absolutely mind-blowing to me. I mean, Rico Dowdle, he's not a superstar. Oh, and Joe Burrow fell to me. Let's go. So I screw up, and it pays off for me.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dak went before.
Oh, right, because you got T. Higgins, Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I got Jamar Chase, and I'll probably end up trying to take Andre Yosevich, who is a second-year, was a developmental guy coming out of college, but really good raw athleticism, really tough name to pronounce, which is probably why a lot of people aren't talking about him.
Yeah.
But he, when the starters were on the field for the Bengals, he was in the slot, which is extremely valuable. He's going to be a starter on this team, it looks like, and a team that runs a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. Jermaine Burton is like, it's Jover already before it even started. Jermaine Burton, the rookie over there, he's like on the 4th team. Which isn't good out of like a pretty highly, they put some serious draft capital into him. And I think he's a day 2 pick. So not a good look.
Say you don't have Jamar and Jaden Daniels is there. Are you taking him at all? Oh, you're on the clock.
I am on the clock. You can finish that question. I just needed to make my selection. Ask that question again, Paxton Bailey.
So say you don't have Jamar Chase and Jaden Daniels falls to you at your pick. Do you like Jaden Daniels?
I do.
Okay.
I do like him. I think he's got a really high floor just in terms of rushing. I just think he's going to be injured by like week 3. And I know we always say like, I don't predict injuries, but like just the way he played in college, he was very reckless, and how bad that offensive line is going to be. I believe in him as a talent. So dynasty, like hell yeah. but redraft for his first year as a rookie in a totally new organization in Washington who's trying to like create their own identity.
Coach and Dan Quinn, like
I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. Tough division too, so especially defensively. So I like him just from a value standpoint, but I never feel great about it when I draft him.
Yeah, especially when you can sit one more round and get Brock Purdy.
Yeah, Brock Purdy, Tua. Caleb Williams is gone in this draft, but he's usually around in this neck of the woods too.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Someone
Jordan Love went before Dak. Okay.
Someone reached pretty far for he just got drafted. Okay. There he is.
Surely someone picked Lamar Jackson, right? I don't see the
name. Yeah. Lamar goes before Anthony Richardson.
I was gonna say, third round.
Yeah. He went
just
before Patrick Mahomes
alone.
Yeah, he went before Patrick Mahomes in this one, actually.
That's fair.
I feel like Jordan Love is getting way too much love. He's a good quarterback, but I don't think everyone's putting him in the top 5 of quarterbacks.
Yeah, he is way, way up there for fantasy purposes from a pocket passer. Like, he's not really all that mobile. He can move, but like, he ain't Aaron Rodgers out there. I'll tell you that much.
You can tell he did learn under Aaron Rodgers, but like
he's got the same release. It is sexy when he throws.
It's nice. It's very nice, but just because you look like him doesn't mean you are Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, he had a rough first half of the season where it seemed like a total bust, and then he just like started balling out.
I definitely put Jordan Love in top 10, not top 5 in the league.
That was his first real season too, and he got a playoff win in his first full season, so that's pretty impressive.
We don't have to talk about that.
He had impressive stats and performances. You have to admit, but I don't know, not my. I have a tough time pulling the trigger at drafts where he's going at the moment. I really do, because I mean Tua's got Tyreek and Jalen Waddle still, and you can get him like 10 rounds after, right? So it's like, I mean, not 10, but
he just might not be able to feel his fingers.
Yeah. Well, luckily you get the points through the regular season, not the postseason.
That's just one of those things as a quarterback you never say. You never say that out loud to anyone. I can't feel my fingers.
That's pretty rough.
It was the end of Peyton Manning's career.
I think we might So I think we might get our third running back here in Rico Dowdle if he falls to us here. We all talk about it. We all agree by week 3 at least he'll be the bell cow there in Dallas and a good offense in what I believe is going to be a good offense. So I went pretty classic hero running back build here. I got Saquon with the 17th pick, and then I waited till pick 89 to get Zamir White and 128 to get Rico Dowdle. In the best ball format, I definitely think that's the way to do it most times. Every once in a while, when 2 hero running backs fall to you early, you go ahead and take them. But where I'm sitting, I like it. I got Anthony Richardson, Joe Burrow as my quarterbacks. I probably won't need another quarterback for the rest of the draft because I got 2 premium ones there. Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman, Xavier Worthy, Rashid Shaheed was the pick we haven't talked about yet. So Rashid Shaheed, he had a little bit of tightness. He's just reported to be back in training for practice. He's like full go again. I think he's going to be like the number 2 receiver on the team easily, maybe behind Alvin Kamara if you count him. But top three point scorer on an offense that was actually really good last year. I think we're all expecting him to take a little bit of a downturn this year. But he's got a veteran quarterback. Despite what you might think about him, he's a veteran quarterback. He's good. And Rashid Shaheed in the best ball format, he just needs an inch, and he is gone for a 70-yard touchdown. So getting him as my 5th wide receiver, I think, is a pretty good value. I like the way this build is ending up for us so far.
I got a trade offer in one of my
breaking news. Paxton got a trade offer in a dynasty league.
A startup dynasty.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get that trade offer from you in just 1 second. I have Dalton Schultz, Mike Williams, Jahan Dotson, and Josh Downs. I think I'm going to take guy who's recently been activated off of the PUP list. Mike Williams, he's going to be healthy. He's healthy. He's practicing with the team. He's got Aaron Rodgers there. They're going to bring him on slow. But honestly, if you're going to bring anyone on slow, make it Michael Williams, right? Because, he's only healthy for half a season anyway. And if it's the second half, I'm happy with that as my 6th wide receiver. If he does inherit that like number 2 receiving role on the team, what's the trade deal we got here, Paxton?
It's pretty poop, and just because it's so poop, I'm going to go ahead and say Caleb B. Davis is the one who sent me this trade. But
friend of the show, been on before, yes.
Friend of the show. He wants my round 15 7th pick for
15.7.
Yes, 15.7. Thank you for his 18.10 and 19.03.
Sometimes you just gotta try it, man. Maybe you're high right now, and you're like, "Fuck, dude, I like Caleb."
This is one of those trades where, because it was so bad, I don't even want to consider a counter proposal. I just kind of want to just deny it and keep going.
Emoji. Yeah,
that is rude. That is a really rude.
I'm a little offended. It's like when a 300-pound woman hits on me. Like, do you really think I'm going to take that offer? Am I that low?
I'm flattered whenever that happens to me. Honestly, I will.
You just want someone to wrestle with.
I will take whatever I can get. Even men, honestly.
Is this next round the last round? That's what it looks like.
What's that?
Is this next round the last round? That's what it looks like. I can't quite
no,
tell
sir. It is an 18-round draft.
And how many are we on?
Lot more football.
I can't see.
We're on 12.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So when you obviously you're waiting until the end, it's a defense or it's a special teams, and if it's a special teams, then does the new kickoff rules come into that at all? Is there anything about
defense,
that's like,
no receiving yards?
Oh wow,
no kicker either. So
no
it's
receiving yards. So it's yards after the catch on every.
No.
Oh,
no kick return yards. Sorry.
I see.
Yeah, those don't count towards your receiving yards.
Miscellaneous points.
Yeah. I've actually added that, especially with the new kick rule. I've added that to a lot of my leagues that I'm in. Is like 0.25 for receiving yard or whatever.
I always love it. If you have a team and you're planning and you can get your flex guy that's also a return guy.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
That's just a smart play when there's not a whole lot of flex talent to have.
Is it based on one specific guy that's a return guy, or is it like if the Dallas Cowboys receive and run it back for touchdown, Dallas Cowboys
anyone on your team
defense? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Anyone on your team. So if anyone returns a punt or a kick and they get 25 yards, they get a point. If they get a touchdown, you get 6 points. Anyway,
right. So like metaphorically speaking, if you had Kevontae Turpin in your flex spot, you would get his receiving yards.
Yeah.
Not the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I had that totally backwards. I thought it went with your defense. Okay.
No, we don't have any. You don't draft defenses in this format. Just quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. So no defense, no kicker.
Gotcha.
But yes, in regular drafts with defense and kicker, I am waiting till the last round. Sometimes I won't even draft a defense. I'll draft somebody who's injured, like TJ Hawkinson, put on my IR, and then I'll pick up a defense off waivers.
That's smart.
Yeah. I got Josh Downs staring me in the eye right now. He did have a pretty bad high ankle sprain in camp, but as my 7th receiver, I'm kind of
and to pick the stack.
Oh yeah, I do have Anthony Richardson as well, but I have Xavier Leggett is staring at me. He's back at practice.
He's back at practice, but here's the thing. I know Josh Downs is injured before we make this pick. Josh Downs was Anthony Richardson's favorite target before he went down.
You're right. That's why people don't like Pittman too. Because they're thinking he's going to be.
Did you get Pittman too?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet Jesus!
Right?
This is a dirty team. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. I got Pittman, Josh Downs, Anthony Richardson. So done with the quarterback position. Done with the wide receiver room. Because if Anthony Richardson goes down, my team's going to stink anyway. Right?
Yeah.
So not concerned about it. Saquon, Zamir White, Rico. That's the cool part about best ball too. Is getting last place is just like getting 4th place. Where in a real life like home league, if you get last place, like you'd way rather be in 4th place.
Sure, you gotta
right?
go do
Because you're
stand-up
probably doing a
comedy or
punishment.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Standing on a street corner in high heels and that's it.
Yeah, you have to wrestle in a singlet that says "I suck at fantasy football."
That one's not even that bad.
But anyway, so I'm done. I got 7 wide receivers pretty early here, which is pretty ideal. I'm done with wide receivers without question, even if I don't need one. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to get 2 more tight ends and probably 3 more running backs is what I'm looking at. So I'll have 6 running backs, 2 quarterback, 3 tight end. If a quarterback falls to me, though, I might go ahead and take him.
That's at the same point where you play every single season. I play defensive players because I play EDPs and kickers week to week. If you need a backup quarterback at that point, you might just play week to week on that and just keep drafting out skill.
I'm up here next. I've got Noah Fant. Pretty easy. Just not even going to scroll down. Just going to take Noah Fant. He'll be the number 1 there in Seattle. I'm not a big JSN guy, so I think he could be the number 2 target, the number 3 target on the team, especially with a probably, if I had to guess, pretty washed Tyler Lockett. And
they got Jake
obviously DK will be
or
the
Bobo.
Man. Jake Bobo?
Jake Bobo.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, so right behind Jake Bobo, right ahead of JSN is where I would slot. Is where
Jake Bobo, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant.
Yes.
You drafted your franchise guy. Now Seattle, just recognize it.
Yep. Just get our sweet boy Jake Bobo out there, for goodness sakes.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Jake Bobo, obviously.
If we say that enough, maybe he'll come.
No way. He's way too famous for us already. Like, we would never get in. We might have a shot at Deuce Vaughn.
Do we?
I think so. If we order the Uber,
we have a shot. Do we want him here?
we order the Uber for him, and it doesn't have to be an XL.
Little Caesars.
Yeah, throw him in the trunk.
Just a regular size Uber. I'm sure he'll be the running backs coach there in like 4 years. It'll be fine. So I do have a couple of quarterbacks that are still available. If they did fall to me, Baker Mayfield would be one I would take. I'd probably take Geno Smith too, just to get that stack with the Fant stack, right?
Does he play for now? Okay, there you go.
Seattle, Geno Smith. Yep. So Khalil Herbert, I'm kind of at a loss what to do with the Chicago backfield, because Khalil Herbert got a lot of the play, but Roshan was out with like a minor injury.
Yeah.
When I first saw Khalil Herbert get like 8 snaps after DeAndre Swift had like one screen for like 70 yards, and then Khalil Herbert comes in and he's balling out too. And I'm like, oh no, I have way too much Roshan. And then I find out Roshan was out with a small injury. So we still big question mark there.
Both of them are really a 2A, 2B, honestly, because one of them is going to be injured and the other one's not going to be playing well.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love Roshan. So Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield off the board. Justin Fields still there for me, but not, I mean, we've already talked. I don't think he's going to be starting. I think it's going to be Russell Wilson from at least most of the season.
And you don't get any of his return points either. So.
Yep. Cade Otton, Isaiah Likely.
Ooh.
I think so for shoot. Now I'm being serious here.
Braylon Allen.
I think, Braylon Allen, obviously every single time. Isaiah Likely could be the number 3 receiver for Baltimore. And from camp reports, sounds like they're planning on that being the case.
That, and they love a double, a strong setup?
Like a 12 personnel, one running back, 2 tight end.
Yeah.
Or like a 2 tight end set. It would be another name to call it. But yeah, they'll use a lot of 2 tight ends, especially with Derrick Henry, especially with Lamar Jackson. I think Rashad Bateman stinks. He always stinks.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers will be the number 2, and then I think we all know Mark Andrews, again, barring injury, which I mean, at this point in his career is saying a lot, will be the number 1 receiver there. And freaking Braylon Allen goes off the board right before we can pick. I try and get Braylon Allen every single time.
Tyrone Tracy.
But that's okay. So Tyrone Tracy, like, it was reported like air cast, non-contact injury, probably done for his career, to high or low ankle sprain. He's week to week in like 2 hours on the internet today. It was crazy. It was crazy.
I hate the mood swings.
Yeah, it's too much sometimes. It's too much for my heart. And I don't even have anything in stake in Tyrone Tracy.
That and Eric Gray is going to be the 2-back until he takes over Devin Singletary. Which is crazy that we were that wrong. To pull back the curtain, we've been not expecting Eric Gray to do so hot, and
I've been telling him we know his personal trainer, and we've always thought he was full of shit until we saw Eric Gray in preseason. We're like, oh, he
okay.
was actually in the best shape of his life. Yeah, checks out. He's 24. Okay,
I should talk to Jack Squat more often.
There's we'll tell you off air who he is, even though I'm sure he wouldn't mind us shouting him out. Is local comedian here
already.
He's I don't know if you've ever met him. That's the thing, because you haven't been out to Deep Ellum. He's mostly a Deep Ellum guy, I feel like.
No, I was gonna say he's a localized like Plano guy. Like,
I guess he does. Yeah, he does the Plano scene, I think, a lot too.
I didn't know that was even I mean, obviously Plano House of Comedy, but I didn't even know.
Well, that is the Plano
there
scene.
Was okay. All right.
Yeah. No, there's like one open mic there. I went to once. But anyways, he is the trainer for Eric Gray. And like, at open mics, like, you're having drinks or whatever. And he's like, oh man, let me tell you how good a shape Eric Gray is. And we're like, shut up. Shut up. He's going to be on the practice squad. And he gets like 4 receptions for 80 yards, a touchdown, and 4 carries.
A mean breakaway.
Yeah, he looked so good. He literally looked so good. And we're like, oh, okay.
Jamie and I both text each other at the same time. We're like, oh, no. I've never had to eat so many words.
Yep. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm so happy for him. Eric Gray is going to be probably a Hall of Famer if we had to guess when it's all said and done.
Just backtrack the whole other direction.
We so now that Braylon Allen is gone, I'm thinking I might just be taking Daniel Jones here for my 3rd quarterback, even though I don't need one. Just a depth piece and a guy who's going to run for another 600 yards this year. And if Malik Neighbors is a guy,
he was still on the board.
Who was
Eric Gray?
Eric Gray. Oh yeah, he's winning the 16th round. His ADP is like he's like 215 or something. Right
and
now.
He will take over Devin Singletary's starting position by week 5.
No, he's not. Paxton. You're overreacting.
But Malik underreacted.
If Malik Neighbors is what everyone thinks he is, he's going to catch for 1,200 yards and like 8 touchdowns this year, then that means Daniel Jones is going to pass for 30 touchdowns and 4,500 yards. Like if that's actually what Neighbors' ceiling is, that's what Daniel Jones' ceiling is.
Yeah.
So one of them has to be wrong. It's probably going to be somewhere in the middle where Neighbors is going to be a little bit of a bust and Daniel Jones is going to be a really good value. So that's why I'm investing a lot in Daniel Jones and not so much. And I'm not concerned with him getting benched, Daniel Jones. It's not going to happen.
For Mr. Pizza Man?
He's not. Mr. Pizza Man isn't there anymore.
Oh, Mr. Pizza. Where did Tommy DeVito go?
I can't remember. He's
Dang, we talked about this the other day too.
He's on a funny team though. He just got re-signed. I can't remember who it was too.
On a funny team, like he's still in the league.
Oh yeah. He tweeted
that alone is funny.
He tweeted when he got re-signed. If the people want more Danny DeVito, I'll give them more Danny DeVito. For shoot, that's literally what he tweeted. It was hilarious. I can't remember where he went though.
A New York Italian guy somewhere in like Miami would be so funny.
No, it's not Miami. It's like I got a
computer sitting right here.
Yeah, go ahead and search it up on Twitter because I don't want to exit out of my iPad and lose our spot here. But yeah, Danny DeVito is still in the NFL and is currently on an NFL roster.
Tommy DeVito.
I say Danny?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be an entirely different game, but I'd draft him 1 of 1.
Oh yeah. So basically all I'm looking for now is we got 2 more picks to make. So late running backs are really stacked. That's why I'm not really concerned about where I'm at the moment, especially with a premium running back on my lineup. So I'm skipping past Estime. I think he's a practice squad guy. Probably never make a football team. Ran a 4.8 at the combine. I could run a 4.8 if I trained for it for like a year.
Yeah, but you're like, you made that out like you were fucking Greasy Gordo. You're in pretty good shape, dude.
Exactly. Like I'm not in NFL shape though. Damian Pierce, a guy I'm still kind of haven't given up on yet.
Yeah, it's such a bust.
He did have 4 carries for 4 yards in the preseason game.
Oh, that's about on average for him.
So that's not great.
As someone who was very
they do have
high
Joe Mixon there, but he's been banged up all preseason. So we're not going to get a healthy season from Joe Mixon.
I thought you meant he was still on the board. I was like, why are we talking about this?
No. He's in Houston. Jordan Mason seems like he'll be the number 2 or the number 1 if Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell are injured all year. And then we have our sweet princes, who I think we're just going to scroll all the way down and take them. We're probably going to take our sweet princes and Will Shipley and Deneric Prince. Will Shipley out of Clemson, Philadelphia, backup for Saquon. Oh, and I have Saquon on my team.
Oh, right.
So that makes double sense. So if Saquon goes down, Will Shipley probably inherits that role, in my opinion. And if he doesn't go down, he's going to any touchdowns that Will Shipley vultures, which I think he will, from Saquon, I'll get in my lineup anyway. He's a really good pass catching back, 3rd down back, probably be a great breather back, a good fit for what they're doing in Philadelphia with Johnny Wilson leading blocking.
You love that guy.
I love Johnny Wilson. Don't even get me started on Johnny Wilson
is it just the name? Because that is a pretty diehard name. That is
dude. I've been a Johnny Wilson truther all off season because
Johnny Wilson
I just
seems like when you get caught by like a cop or something, and they ask you your name and you don't have your ID on you, so you make one up. You're like, oh, dude, I'm Johnny Wilson.
yeah, dude, I played for Florida State. I'm black and 6'7" tall.
He's 6'7"? Yeah. Oh, I'm big on this guy now. Oh my god.
Yeah, he ran a 4.51 at 6'7" at the combine. Yeah.
What was that, like 5 steps for him?
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying.
Is it in my head, or is there a lack of black Johnnies? I can't think of another black Johnny. I feel like as soon as I say that, we're gonna name
John
18,
Jones,
but
he might just be straight up John.
Yeah,
there's really I can't even. So I guess Johnny Depp is a white guy. I'm trying to think of white Johnny.
Yes, Johnny Depp is white.
I'm not an expert, but
he just looks sick. I think that's his ethnicity.
I'm leaving all this in, by the way. No one's listening at this point anyway.
In the 18th round.
Yeah. I've seen the charts. It literally doesn't matter what we say.
While no one's listening, it's Tommy DeVito's still a Giant. He's he's there with Drew Lock.
Okay, cool. I wanted to say the Bills for some reason, but it didn't make sense.
Apparently, the first thing that comes up is Drew Lock gets Tommy DeVito cheer going. What a quarterback room that is.
That is an amazing quarterback room. I'm pumped about it. I'm also pumped that our other Prince, Deneric Prince from Kansas City, will be the backup. He played as the number 2 in the preseason game. He's listed as number 2 in practice. He's the number 2 over CEH, who's been banged up all preseason
and not good.
Was like re-signed to them for like $15 an hour. Deneric Prince is, I think, the number 2 behind Pacheco. Pacheco is going to be the bell cow there. He is a pure handcuff back. With all that being said, it's still the Chiefs, so he could fall into the end zone 4 or 5 times just on accident.
Jarek McKinnon got so many touchdowns for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. And that is our draft. Over here on what are we talking about? My team is at quarterback. Anthony Richardson, Joe Burrow, Dan Jones. At running back, I got Saquon, Zamir White, Rico Dowdle, Will Shipley, and Deneric Prince. Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman, Xavier Worthy, Rashid Shaheed, Michael Williams, Josh Downs in the receiver position. And finally, tight end, number 4 reception leader out of anybody. I got Evan Ingram, Noah Fant, and Isaiah Likely, who is likely to be the number 3 target for Lamar Jackson this year.
Yeah.
Matt, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to make it out. Never mind. You're welcome for joining you. Thank you for having me. It was so much fun. I feel like I learned so much. If you don't mind, I'll just go ahead and tell anyone who is still listening that I'm on Twitter at Matt McElhone. I'm sure my name will be on the description at some point. I'm sorry for all the times that I zoned out and said nothing. And thank you guys so much.
Yeah, I thought you did great. You were a perfect guest on the show. When we have 3 people, especially when one's remote, it's almost best that the remote person takes their chances, because we still are dealing with a little bit of a delay. So if you hear us talking over each other, that is exactly why. So we appreciate you being on. And yeah, I thought you were a great representation to a lot of people who might be watching right now who like have questions that we don't even know you have.
Right.
So I thought it was really, really helpful to have you on to answer some of like the basic questions that we don't know, people don't know. _Bailey_comedy, Dingbat District on YouTube. Thank you for being on as always. What do you have to say?
Thanks for having me. And all I got to say is I'm so excited to go see Corey Feldman and Limp Bizkit tonight.
Oh, me too, dude.
This.
I'm going. I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you.
I'm so ready to make fun of Corey Feldman.
When we had the conversation about how many rounds is it, and you were like, we're on 12 of 16, I was like, I should just now, and then I could probably get there. Time to get okay parking.
I'm so pissed because I live 6 minutes from there. We should have had you over live in Stu.
Oh, totally should have done that. I was gonna say use the Game Time app. I got tickets for $24. I got 1 ticket for $24.
That's what they got him for yesterday too. So you didn't get rid of a deal.
The link,
actually,
the
25
yesterday. Was like 38 or something.
Well, Miles must use a stupid site because I got mine for 27, and I sent him the ones I got for 27 too.
We're going to see Limp Bizkit.
It was actually Groupon. I was like, whose aunt sent you this link?
Right here, baby. Groupon's the shit.
Limp Bizkit advertising on Groupon is so 2024. I really hope you guys have a good time. I hope you guys had a good time. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment, leave a like. Please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.